Hi, this is Ann Samoila. Thanks for watching this video. This is day 6. I can't believe I've actually done 6 videos already. And they're pretty basic ones, I will admit that. This is day 6 of my Teaching Pilates video series, which really are just some simple tips, little pieces of advice, things that might seem obvious to people who've been teaching for a long time, but you know, I find that I have to remind myself of them every once in a while, and I'm a fairly new teacher as well. I'm in my 4th year of teaching. So, but today I wanted to talk to you about something that many of you have yet to do. Maybe you're just about to do some this weekend, and or this week, whatever, you know. You might be just on the edge of trying to add some of these to your schedule. And that is how to prepare for your first group class. The ways to prepare are pretty similar for both the mat and the reformer, with some exceptions, of course, because obviously you have to get the machines ready, or at least make sure everything's working well. But the first tip that I have for any class, you know, any group of people, or even any session you have, is to make sure you've planned in advance what the class is. Now, I know some people who are classically trained go through the protocol, you know, go through, have specific things that they do with their beginners, with their advanced, with their intermediates, you know, whatever. So, you know, but still make that plan, you know, obviously not everybody has the same body, so clearly you're making some adjustments to that classical, you know, that classical repertoire. Now, for me, I like to just come up with a class that I know is going to be easily varied or modified depending on who's in the class. And that brings me to the next tip, which is to get there early. If they have MindBody Online, which is a software that schedules classes and studios, it's a really great piece of, it's a really great package. And if you haven't gotten a chance to use it yet, you definitely should find a way to do that. I think they even have a demo on their site. So you can kind of peek at how many people are going to be in the class. You might even be able to log in and see who's going to be in the class. That helps even more when you're preparing for the group class. But get there a little bit early. Make sure you know about any beginners, anybody with, you know, their issues, injuries, shoulder issues, back issues, anybody who has like upper back, you know, cervical spine stuff, or, you know, people are having lower spine, lumbar spine stuff going on. You know, you definitely want to just be aware of who's in your class, what the big issues are, and that the good thing is that many of these people, if they're regulars to the studio and just to you for the first time, they might already know what their modifications are, which is great and really saves you a lot of time. But you can still keep your eye on them, give them tips if you can for additional things that you might want to do or you might suggest for them. And who knows, maybe you can, you know, give them something completely new that they've never done before, but which is beneficial to their condition. So getting there early and planning, having a class, you know, your list of exercises ready to go, and you may or may not be ready to, or you might not be able to put that list in front of you and have a cheat sheet, but you can do what I do. I put my index cards in my pants sometimes just to kind of keep inspiring me. So sometimes I just kind of tap the card just to kind of remember where I am in the process, but I don't really have a chance to look at it, to be honest. So that you want to make sure all the next thing, the third thing is to make sure all the machines are working. Just, you know, do a quick run through. You never know what's happened on the last class. Make sure they're all clean. Then if there's any apparent sweat, get rid of it. And then make sure if you plan to use any props, to put them near the machines if you can, or at least just make sure they're handy so you can grab them. And then, you know, you usually will have a little bit of time to chat with some of the people, like I mentioned, about connecting with your clients. This is a perfect time to do that. Find out how everybody's feeling, you know. It will, getting like kind of like an idea of everybody's energy levels will also possibly create a situation where you have to change your class a little bit, just be ready to do that no matter what. And you really should, as a Pilates instructor teaching group classes, be ready to change at a moment's notice. Kind of know what your repertoire is that you're going to do in almost every class, and you might change it up here and there, but especially if you're going to do 2 classes back to back, have some basic flow of things that you're going to do, and then just know that for certain people you may have to change it, or have them do completely separate things from the rest of the class, which has happened. And luckily those people usually know about their condition, have been given advice from, let's say, the owner of the studio, or have taken that other classes where they know exactly what to do. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. I mean, there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can prepare for class, and tomorrow I'm hoping that I'm going to go into exactly what I do to create my classes, especially if I want to create something slightly different from what I've been doing. But right now, just be prepared, know who's in your class, keep beginners safe and in spots where you can see them, and make sure the machines are all good. We actually had a strap, one of the leather straps, break during class, and thankfully it was with someone who was definitely a veteran client at the studio, so she was not in the least phased. But if it had happened to some other people that I can think of, it might have been a little bit more disastrous. So that's my tip for the day. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, or whenever you see this, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.